The following is a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our live broadcast of the Summer Chess Classics. I'm Yasser, along with Begim.
Hi,
wow,
Yasser,
5
welcome.
rounds just
I
like
know,
that,
the
right?
tournament is going so fast.
Incredible and great action. Thank you so much for joining us, and let's just jump right into it. Tell us about the standings. Let's start with Group A.
Standings for Group A. Benjamin Burke won very unexpected game yesterday.
What a shock!
I know.
Holy smokes.
So he's tying for first with Pranav and Nikolas after an insane game yesterday. And
nothing else to say. That just makes a three-way tie.
3.5 points.
Wow, real stunner. Tell us about the standings for Group B after 5 rounds.
For Group B, Andrew Hong is leading the tournament with 4 points, only half a point behind Semyon Lomasov and Arman Mikaelyan, and Akshat Chandra tying for second.
Wow, that's a chasing
it's a
pack
very
of
close
wolves.
Tournament there.
It sure is. As we take a look at the playing hall there, very nice.
They're playing
cameras.
Chess Plaza.
That's exactly. And tell us about the tournament's formats for the 2 events.
So, 2 10-player round-robin tournament with 90 minutes for the first 40 moves, 30 minutes for the rest of the game, and 30-second increment throughout the game.
I love the schedule. It's so simple.
So today is round 6, and we have 3 more rounds left, and we're gonna have playoffs if it's necessary. And as our producer mentioned, during the spring classic, not semester, I missed it again. We had 5-way tie.
5-way tie. Wow. Well, in case we have a 5-way tie, the playoff's going to be played on the same day as the last
crazy
round.
And exciting.
Tell us about the pairings, and let's start with the Group A.
For Group A, as always, we have great pairings with great players, but our key matchup for today is Burke versus Illia Nyzhnyk. Burke is the leader of the tournament, one of the leaders of the tournament, and Illia is just 1 point behind him.
Yeah.
It's his chance to catch up.
Yeah, but if you look at the line scores between them, Benjamin has been on a roller coaster ride with victories and a defeat, whereas Illia has just been
Very steady.
all draws. Let's just jump into the game, and I have to tell you, I hated Black's position as we come on the air. So what happened is a Slav defense, exchange Slav defense, and everything has gone wrong for Black. In the first place, his king's in the middle of the board. He lost his rights to castles. In the second place, the fight for the B file favors White because White is going to be the first to get a rook to the B file. We got to this position, and as we were coming on air, we didn't understand it, Begim, because we just thought the position's absolutely gone, like gone.
Yeah.
And the simplest move for Benjamin to win the game was Queen D6. The idea is as straightforward as it looks. You want to play Rook B2, and in case of Rook to D8, Queen to E5, don't forget, you can't castle.
We're talking about the position earlier, and Yasser didn't show me that king already moved to D7, and I tried to castle here.
I said, no, that's not how it works, Begim. And we think that would have been a winner. Instead, he played Queen B4, Rook D8. Maybe on a good day, if Black could ever play F6, King F7 in one turn, he might have chances to resist, but still in this position, I really like Benjamin's winning chances. Tell us about the pairings for the B group.
Absolutely. B group, they are having a close tournament. We have a lot of great matchups, but the key matchup for today is it's with Chandra versus Hong.
Absolutely.
Andrew is just leading the tournament with only half a point. So if Akshat is able to win this game, he's swindling.
Yeah, he's trading places, as we would say.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great result for Akshat, and he is trying to do. So let's
jump into the game. And
let's
here
see
we
it.
have the situation.
And you can see the players on your screen.
Yeah, this position actually comes from a Petrov, a Russian defense. If the pawn were on d5, I would say, oh, we're in one of those Tarrasch Frenches where you've played knight d2 and so on. Normally speaking, in a Tarrasch defense, Black doesn't have such nice development. The queen on h5, the rook on c8. This knight would already be on f3. This rook would be on e1. The other rook would be on d1. And white would have a slight advantage. In this case, I really don't think that white has much to cheer himself over.
Now pawn is on d5.
Although, I must say, I don't like the last few moves of Andrew. That is a very strange decision. If I was in Black's shoes, I want to play knight e4.
Absolutely, but what's rook
So-
c5 and d5?
Yeah, I would be playing d5 and knight e4. He played rook c5. Okay. Knight a3. He didn't want to step in the way of this or this. So there's a trick, right? I mean, this is a little bit embarrassing. Oops. Don't want to go there. So he played
These
knight
guys
a3.
love
Tricks, you're right. We used to, it was Cocoa Puffs. It was a commercial in the United States about a breakfast cereal. And, you know, was it Cocoa Puffs? Or Kids Love Tricks. Tricks, excuse me. It was the cereal Tricks.
Well, it's like
Kids
tricks,
love
tricks.
Tricks.
Wait, it has
Silly rabbit.
yeah. It still exists. I love those.
Really?
Tricks,
Okay,
tricks,
man.
tricks,
I was all
tricks
about
or
the
something like that.
sugar rush. Bishop b3, d5, knight b5. Now, white's beginning to get a little smidge of something I don't know.
If knight comes to d4, black doesn't have anything.
So,
Most
imagine-
probably he's
imagine
Andrew
we-
is trying to use the loose piece there.
Yeah, well, imagine we kick the queen, right? And you've got to maintain. And imagine we drop the knight in. So hello, do something. We drop back with the bishop, and let's do something. Let's have some fun.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the point, I guess. Strategically, your position is good, like as white, but like tactically, are you on time or not?
Exactly. Maybe I'm going to have to allow the loss of the two bishops just once again. Knight e4, bishop, knight, and knight e4. Maybe I don't have the time to move my bishop. Maybe it's time to
Then
just...
I can take on play bishop e4, and my bishop looks
Yeah, oh,
lovely.
I got to get rid of that. No way. I'm not letting that bishop lord over the position. I would say that white is a little bit on the back foot here. I like the dark squared bishop in the position.
Even though they have a compensation for sure.
Absolutely. The
Knight
players are
on
fighting
d4.
hard.
Absolutely.
What are they fighting for?
We have
Prizes, baby.
Yeah, we have prizes. They are great. For the A group, first prize is $6,000. Second
Nice.
prize is $4,000, and third prize is $3,000. And rest of the tournament players are also gonna get some prizes.
Right.
And the total prize fund of the tournament is $22,000.
Nice. And tell us about the prize fund for Group B.
Group B first prize is $4,000, second prize is $2,500, and third prize is $2,000. And from the 4th to the 10th, we have prizes as well, and the total prize fund of the tournament is $14,000.
Nice. Turning once again to our marquee matchup, Benjamin, and I'm sad to say, I think that Benjamin's got, you know, sometimes a very strange thing happens. You get on the wrong track. You just have this idea that you should be doing this, and it's the wrong idea. I think in Benjamin's mind, Ben is thinking that I got to stop him from castling.
There's
No
way.
castles.
There's no way he's thinking
It
like that.
absolutely happened. I kid you not. There was a wonderful game of Bent Larson. Bent Larson is on the black side of an open Sicilian. There was a bishop b5 check and a king takes d7. King takes d7. Later, Bent moved his king back to e8, and it was a candidate from a Yugoslavian grandmaster. I'll remember his name in just a moment. Thereafter was playing to prevent Ben from castling. The king had already gone to d7, d8. He played a move like queen a3 to stop castles when castles was no longer a threat. and at least lost the tempo. The bishop on d6 is frankly just badly placed. It's
Yasser,
not
I think
there.
he's trying to trick his opponent, to be honest. He's playing bishop d6. The idea is to take on d3.
Okay.
Can you go?
Yeah, so I'll
No,
make a
rook
move.
on c6.
Oh, sorry.
He played bishop c7.
I apologize. You're right. He did. Yes.
And then his idea, if it was my move, I would take on d3 and just play queen b7.
Gotcha. That's his
That's what he
intention.
wants to do.
Okay.
He does remember.
The tricks. Tricks are for kids. And so if he
Tricks.
goes back,
I
you-
cannot believe he's trying to repeat the moves.
no. I mean, white is definitely for choice.
Maybe he just wants to play bishop c5 and anytime rook d3 is coming. No, he's repeating.
Are we serious here?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
I just.
repeating. Maybe there's
you're
nothing.
Right. Well,
Maybe he doesn't know that. He doesn't know what to do. That f6 is coming, king f7. Probably he's thinking he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have enough to play.
the funny part is, if you're black and I gave you two moves,
Yeah.
and your two moves were f6 and king f7, I'm not sure you've equalized.
Yeah. Because
So it's
the-
ridiculous not to play
Yeah.
on. Like, for example, suppose I just played a ridiculous move, e4. You're not going to play f6. You're going to have to take. And I'm just playing ridiculous moves for just a moment to show you that you're not even close to equalizing with your king stuck in the center,
absolutely.
right? So white should
Maybe
be the
he-
one playing for the win,
That
not
is true,
making a
but
repetition.
he has 16 minutes. Maybe he's just
the clock.
repeating twice so he can make it to
Gain
the
some
40.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Benji has some problems with time management.
You think? He's only this tournament has been a roller coaster.
Not
like-
only this tournament, that's
Right?
a huge problem.
That is a big problem. For example, rook d1, bishop c4. Again, if I'm just playing e4, it's very, very clear that white, he could play to open the e file. He can take. He can play for rook b2, followed by queen b7. White is really enjoying himself. Again, rook d1. By the way, we already have a result, if we don't mind.
We
It was
do
between
have a
Mishra.
result. Abhimanyu and Aram made a draw today. Aram is black pieces, and funny enough, Aram made his sixth
Consecutive draw.
Yeah, of
He's
the tournament.
following in
Three more to
Illia.
go.
Yeah, he's on schedule.
He's on schedule.
Right?
Absolutely.
Takes on b3. Now this is a pawn sacrifice that white players have essayed because it's one of those things that if black mishandles it, like for example, if black just allows white to plant a knight on c5, this bishop remains passive
Yeah.
for literally the rest of the game. Why? ¿Qué pasa? Queen b2.
Yeah, sir, I
don't-
wouldn't be surprised if it's all theory.
Yeah, you think so?
It's Catalan.
That's true. I would be looking at playing knight e4, knight c5, followed by e4. I want to play e4. I don't necessarily want the pawn on d4 to be under attack, but if I plan a knight on c5, it's like planting my flag on this beautiful outpost. He played queen b2. Okay, well, that's another way of getting to
knight.
a c5, but maybe this is given.
Oh, maybe it gives you just more because queen b2 is preparing e4, protecting d4, and at the same time, knight is still coming to c5, but you're not like, you're not taking away your e4 idea.
Okay, so if I go knight c4, knight e4, pardon me, and do something like this, I'm going to play e4, and then I can decide if I want to put my queen on b2, the pawn's not under attack, or maybe e3, or maybe c3. I'm just saying that for me, it just kind of feels like that's a lost tempo. We'll see. We do get to this position, and Mishra hacked everything off the board. Oops. And we got
He's
a
not
major
having
piece
a great
in.
tournament,
No.
so he's not risking, I would say.
And there you go. Okay, not a game of the ages.
Yeah.
More or less a very safe, tepid draw. Let's go to the game of Dariusz and John
also,
Burke.
before we jump into this game, we have another result. Good news, Lenderman made a draw. Not finally.
Lenderman has been on, wow, a spin cycle where he just, it all went wrong. I mean, he is a former champion of one of these classic events, and he's an incredibly strong player. He's just not having a good tournament performance. Let's jump to the game of Dariusz and John Burke. When I see this type of structure, it does remind me forcibly of a Grunfeld, and I think that's what it came up. Yep, there you go. It was a Grunfeld. And H4. Okay, this is the latest and greatest in tournament theory. H4.
Lately, these H4 moves in Grunfeld, they're very trendy, I would say.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone's playing H4.
Everybody plays
With
H4.
castle, without castle, just play H4.
Right, but it does well, and John said, show me. I'm from Missouri. Show me what
Show
you
me
got.
state.
Yeah, exactly. Show me what you got. And,
Yeah,
well,
most
okay,
probably
Dariusz
H1,
said,
H6 then.
okay, you captured my H pawn. The H file is open. Let me try to utilize it. Whoa.
Ooh. Dariusz is very ambitious, I would say.
G4.
Wow.
Okay. I'm still not quite sure why G4 was.
I think it would be better to prepare, but probably it's against F5 too, because Black was preparing F5 actually.
You think so? Just a second, let's go back just for a
I
moment.
can open the.
One of the things
If
I would be,
H1,
I would be
immediately-
very, very, very reluctant, like anytime you get this position,
Yeah.
I'd be very, very reluctant. Thank you for anything that opens up the king side. I feel you're doing white the biggest favor in the world. So I don't know, maybe,
what is he avoiding? Maybe H5. Rook H1, H5.
well, and again,
Doesn't make sense.
that's one of those beautiful, beautiful moves that I would be
took-
so very happy to see.
Yes, you're just too happy.
By the
Maybe
way,
F5.
I'm a pawn grabber.
I know. I'm grabbing all
So-
of your pawns
So
today.
if
Queen
I'm
D7.
if I'm the one sacrificing pawns,
There must be something.
something
Right?
something is not.
No, Yasser, wait. Maybe I can take on F3. It's not that easy, right?
What?
No, with the bishop, Yasser.
With the bishop.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
give you too
Everything.
Many, yeah.
Everything that I want. It just feels like, okay, white is having too much fun. Let's just leave it at that. But the move
So
G4.
you don't want my pawns anymore?
No, but the move G4, I don't understand how that helps white's attack. I'm not going to play G5.
Yeah.
I'm not really afraid of
I'm just
H5.
trying to understand what he was afraid of, why he decided to play a G4, because otherwise it doesn't make sense, right?
Precisely.
King on F2 and then you're playing G4.
Why?
Like,
Yeah, I don't get it. G4, Rook D8.
I will remember Karchnay's advice forever. I guess.
Right. Rook B1. I don't like this move either.
It feels like he's just jumping around. He's not like following any ideas, any plan. He doesn't have any plan to follow.
And that's usually a very, very bad sign. By the way, I don't think that the queen is well placed on b5.
Mm-hmm.
So when I play a move like Rook b1, I really think I'm doing myself a disservice, and I'm helping my opponent. I'm not saying e8's the greatest square, but it
closer
defends.
to closer to the queen.
I'm liking John's position more and more.
Yeah, I don't like what Dariusz did. G4, Rook B1.
I'm still confused. This game, I must say, by the way, Grunfelds are one of those openings that I've never been completely comfortable, I would say, on either side. The imbalances don't suit me. But this one I find confusing. I mean, right now, to my mind, I have I have two things. If I'm in black's shoes, what's going on? What am I thinking? What is black's problem? Black's problem is that the dynamic possibilities on the king side forces him to consider the fact that he may come under attack. I don't know if knight f5, I don't know if rook h3, rook b1 are the issues, but white has the potential of attack. Point number one. Point number two, this knight on a5 sucks. Bad. Put the knight on d6, put the knight on c5, maybe I can go to d3. Secondly, whenever I'm under attack, I want to trade pieces. So I'd be starting bishop c6. Next thing, I'm thinking I need to bring my knight back into civilization. Civilization, to my way of thinking, is the d6 or c5 squares. John's thinking that he needs to stop white from attacking, and he wants to give back a pawn to get the initiative himself. In this case, he sacrifices the pawn so he can bring his knight to the c4 square.
It feels like he has the same understanding, like similar understanding as you're about the position, but he took different approach.
A very different approach indeed.
You would just keep the pawn still. I love how you explained why bishop c6 is great.
Right, get rid of the light square bishop. Now, having said all of that, the defects in white's position are beginning to appear. The defects, the king on f2, well, not beautiful, let's put it that way. Not a thing of beauty. And that pin, and give me the a2 pawn, and I think we've caught up with the players. Let me just refresh the board, sorry. This will just take me a quick second. Queen a4.
Yeah.
I like black's position.
Absolutely,
I
and
don't
they have
see the
half
problem.
an hour too.
30 minutes and
8 minutes,
8 minutes.
unfortunately.
We have some time trouble addicts in the tournament. Not that, the 30-second increment really stops you from being a complete addict, like down to 2 seconds and play 4 moves in 2 seconds. Can you do it? But nonetheless, we have seen Dariusz at multiple times in the tournament playing on increment only.
I know.
We have a position. How would you
style.
evaluate? You like white or black?
I love black's position.
Me three.
Even I like their sacrifice, like pawn sacrifice.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though I like your idea more, bishop c6, knight b7.
Yeah. By the way,
now I don't have the pawn, unlike the other position.
Rook c1. I think that this is a absolutely imperative move.
Which already indicates that.
Yeah, you abandon your
Right.
attack along the H file. Like, you're just not going anywhere there. It's going to take you forever and a day. Should I take the pawn with the, should I trade rooks? Although I have an issue with trading rooks, right? A7.
Your king is also...
A7 is a little weak. Like, I don't know if I've got
enough compensation for
well,
it.
checking ideas. I don't know. This is a little bit unclear for me. But I do think rook c1 is imperative. Let's continue our walk around the playing hall.
Oh, as usual, Pranav has totally messed the game. And also, one thing to notice, today 2 Indians are playing each other.
Yes,
Pranav
yes.
versus Raunak.
I noticed, we call this the brotherhood pairings in the Pacific Northwest. What we would all do is we'd get on the car, drive down from Seattle, doesn't matter. We'd go to Idaho, we'd go to Montana, we'd go to California.
I love Seattle, by the way.
Thank you. All good things come from Seattle, remember that.
Exactly.
And we'd get in the car, 24 hours, whatever, and we'd have a brotherhood pairing. It's like the same guys from the Seattle Chess Club play each other in Montana.
That's the worst.
I know. And here are these two players coming from India.
But I'm not sure how
Right.
friendly they are. And because their age is so close, 16, 17, most probably
Great rivalry.
they compete in almost in every tournament.
Right. And I was just going to say that I noticed in the World Cup, big shout out to the World Cup organizers as well as the FIDE there. That looks like a wonderful, marvelous event, and I've been following it. Congratulations to the players who just made it through this elimination round. But I noticed that Arjen Tari of Norway played against Magnus Carlsen. I mean, these are like two guys from Oslo. They know each other. They're on teammates. They're great teammates. Play each other, brotherhood pairing. Not a lot of fun.
Yeah,
let's jump back into the game of Pranav for a moment, because this is actually kind of a fun position. Literally, we have a board full of pieces. All the pieces are still on the board with only a single pair of A pawns being traded, meaning the A file's open. Your quick knee-jerk thoughts about the position. How do you like it? How do you assess the position, Begim?
I like White's position more. It feels like White has more space, and then
the wedge, the central wedge,
and
is
then
more
on
space.
the like king side as well.
Right.
Maybe they have some attack
Some
potentially.
dynamic
Knowing
potential there.
Pranav,
Yeah.
so far he would do something. H4, H5, or F4 at some point, try to open up the position. And I like D5 pawn. It's controlling the knights so far.
Okay.
Even though Black has good H on the queen side.
Okay.
But I don't know how they can use it yet. Most probably the only plan here to just attack on C3, Rook B2, and slowly try to put knight D3 or knight B3. But for now, they have exactly
A trick, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
They have a problem to solve.
yeah, I definitely do. I like what you're saying. I mean, first of all, I think the position's dynamically balanced. I like the space as well, but I do see that Black has actually made more inroads on the queen side that
Then king side.
Yeah, that I would like.
Yeah.
So, for example, after the move bishop b5, Black has doubled his rooks on the open b file. Now, it's not like I can illegally play the move rook b2, but what I do want to do is let's make a bad move. And
Yeah.
trust me, this is a bad move. What I do want to do is just basically win the two bishops, and more or less that pawn is really, really... So you're probably going to play I don't care instead of
Probably
h4,
taking
rook
on
a2.
c5 is an option, but knight is immediately coming to d6.
Right. If I play rook e2, knight b3, I can essentially step away from the fork, right? If I take on c5, are you a fan?
I'm not a big fan of that, but like, what about my knights? That's the question too.
Right. Yeah, your knight is going to more or less have to go to e3. This knight is more or less on a perfect blockading square. I tell you, I see a
took on c3, and then it seems like Pranav took with the queen. Yes, sir.
Wow.
And knights. I don't like queen c3 more.
Wow. Well, I mean, now you've left... Pardon me, I want to say that White has left himself with a permanent weakness, that Black is... he's got this arsenal,
After knight
shooting.
c7, immediately I'm attacking on my target.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't seem like a right move.
I'm going to have to play rook a2 here, and I'm not a fan. I think that things could easily go wrong here if I'm in the white side. So give me the bishop, give me the pawn, and if you don't think for a moment I'm sacrificing a pawn. No. I don't do these things. I make what are called sham sacrifices. Do you know what the word sham sacrifice comes from? It comes from the art of attack. The idea is it's fake. I'm not sacrificing a pawn because I'm winning it right back. It's a fake. It's a a sham. It's a sham. It's a sham. So I don't like what Pranav did. We'll keep an eye on this game before we leave this tournament. I just want to say, before we go to Group B, I want to look again at the game between Illia and Benjamin.
Benjamin indeed didn't agree on a draw. He's
Well,
playing.
I think the game is just lost, completely lost. We talked about this, and you have very, very important insight that should be hardwired into everybody. And that insight is when we have bishops of opposite color in the middle game, the player who's attacking has a big advantage.
Absolutely.
Because you can't match me on the dark squares. I have a dark square. I can't match you on the light squares, but who is ever attacking is literally a piece up. Bishops of opposite colors are great in the endgame if you're defending and you're trying to make a draw. Chances of a fortress, very, very good. In this case, I see Black's king on g6. Guess who's attacking?
Exactly.
White's on the initiative.
And also, White can play Queen e7 with the idea of Rook b7, and if you play
that
Bishop
would win.
e5,
Yeah, that would win. Queen e7. I have to play Rook e8, and so Queen.
So I just need to be more tricky. Queen d7.
Queen d7 would force you.
That's the
Queen
that's
to c8.
the only problem is that.
Exactly.
It's not that easy, but if White manages to put Queen d7, some pressure, then it feels like it's going to collapse.
Correct.
Maybe Rook d1 is the correct move. So after Queen d7, Black cannot play Queen c8, and then because of the bad placement of the Black's king, Bishop cannot actually return to f5 as well.
Right. So my approach to this position, just to break it down for everybody, is whenever we trade, whatever we're trading a pawn, we're trading a bishop, we're trading a knight, I imagine myself at a market. I go to the farmer's market, there's a guy, a gal, it doesn't matter, selling bread, vegetables, whatever, and we're going to make trade. We're here to do business. So whenever I trade, I'm trying to weigh who got the better deal. Did I get the better? Did you get the better? Well, who got the better deal? Usually somebody gets a better deal. It's not always an even trade. Whenever I'm attacking, I really want to retain the queens. So if I was White, I would reject the move Queen d7 because of Queen c8. Even though I get a rook to b7, I get a rook on the 7th rank, yay.
Yeah.
The queen trade benefits Black. So if I'm in White's shoes, I'm definitely playing the move Queen c7. Why? Just like you said, I want to play Rook b7, but I don't want to trade queens. And the move Queen c7 has a double threat. I can go Queen g3 check. I can go Queen to d6. I can tickle these pawns. I love your Rook d1 too, by the way. The only thing a little bit concerning to me is that after a move like Rook d1, the queen trade, I have to analyze that, and then the other thing
winning opponent is right.
The other thing I have to think about is Rook b8.
Okay,
Now, queen trade, okay. Oh, I probably should play the other rook. What am I doing?
He played
Apologies.
Queen c7, I believe.
Yeah, that
No,
was
I
how
like
I
your
recommend.
move Queen c7.
Yeah.
It feels right.
Exactly, to keep the queens on the board, to
And then still controlling b8 square, and you're
Right.
threatening Rook b7, Queen g3. It's just a lot of threats. Queen
and
b6 maybe.
by the way, Queen c8. By the way,
Immediately was played,
Rook
and
to be,
Rook b7.
well, how about that? Benjamin said, I will go into an ending. I want to win a pawn, but
But he wants to win c6 pawn.
true, but
And then try to keep the a weakness. But I'm not sure, Yasser.
I know, it's like, okay, I won a pawn, yay for me.
But how are you going to improve this position? That's the question. Rook h e8, for example.
Okay.
You don't have anything to attack. Like
Well,
with
I
Bishop
guess,
c4 or
right?
Bishop b5.
Yeah.
It seems like it might end.
Well, this is where the bishops of opposite colors, the
Play
benefit of the bishops of opposite colors, endings are more difficult. And by the way, no, that is the Mishra game, I'm sorry. Let's go around the horn, and I tell you, one of the harshest things is when you've had a bad result, like a really unfair result, like happened to Sasi yesterday. He lost against Benjamin, to come back the very next day with that same determination.
It's absolutely.
Oh, it's really, really hard.
Even you could see how Benjamin was playing.
Right.
he
He
didn't
would-
have any.
when
like,
he lost a
strength,
bad-
absolutely.
yeah.
At some point, he bounced back, though.
Right. Queen e3. By the way, I find the move g4 intolerable. I just. No.
You're controlling good squares, and immediately you're letting go,
Ah.
right?
Wow. I love this idea. We have the term cocoon. So the idea is to
Like
is to
making
imagine your king in this incredibly beautiful, safe cocoon. And I was playing in the candidates tournament, and my opponent was Michael Tal. Really, it's a very nice game. Probably one of my best games, in fact. And I had queen and a bishop against queen and bishop, bishops of opposite color. But I put my king on h2, where my king was cocooned, and Tal had no checks.
Especially against Tal.
Right? You know,
It's
attacking
important.
possibilities for Misha.
Yes, sir, I'm so jealous. You played him, and he beat him. That's
You're right.
insane.
Yeah. I had a really nice score, like 4.5 out of 5 against Michael. It's not nice to win all the games, you know.
Aw.
No, it's not nice. Not nice.
Too
But
kind of
King
you.
H2. So I'm thinking, you know, let's get in this. Let's, you know, challenge. Okay, G4. What can I say? G4. Just, I don't like this way of play.
Yes.
But let's see what happens. Oh, he gave up the 2 bishops. No. I think that Sasi is not playing well here.
I think he's just trying to make a draw somehow.
Well, yeah, but okay.
He's trying to simplify the position for sure.
Right. You've won a pawn,
Yeah.
but
2 bishops are.
2 bishops, and this bishop, how do you say? It blocks the d file. So actually, there are 3 open files. But you're not really using the.
Yeah.
This bishop blocks the d file. It controls the f file, and essentially with the move c5, not only do you get your pawn out of pre, but you're ready to play c4, anchoring the bishop
But
and rook e2.
the thing is that the white's position is great too. Probably knight f5, and at some point you will have to take the knight, and then.
Do you think so? We're going to have another. What is this? Bishops of opposite color today? I mean, did somebody get a memo? I didn't get the memo. Bishops of opposite colors in a number of the games could appear in this one as well. But I think that.
Also, let's jump into the B group. We
Yes.
have another result there.
Okay.
B group is fast today. Justin Wang against Elshan. They
Also
made
a
a
draw.
draw as well.
Okay, you were telling us that Alex Lenderman, who, as we've seen, has really been having a difficult tournament, up against one of the tournament, Semyon, is tied for first, is he not? Yes, as
Yes.
it came on.
Not tie for first, tie for second.
Tied for second, I
looked
apologize,
really-
because he's behind Andrew.
Only half a point.
point. Queen's Gambit accepted, by the way. Just 4
Yes,
versus
sir.
4, 2 versus 2. Learn the Queen, because there are a number of books. It's actually very funny because I started training myself to study pawn structures. And in particular, the pawn structure I studied deeply was isolated queen pawns.
Yeah.
Because in isolated queen pawns, they come from so many openings.
Oh, absolutely.
You can go from French, Queen's Gambit, King. All kinds of openings can lead to an isolated queen pawn. So then I started studying structures more and more. And 4 versus 4, 2 versus 2 was a structure that I really studied. And I felt that my understanding of those pawn structures really led me to become a pretty strong, pretty decent player.
Yes, sir, you have a great understanding.
There you go. From
I'm
the
trying to steal it for a little bit of it.
Okay, first indication, Black is pretty happy. He's got his rook on the 7th rank before White has. So, pause. No me gusta. What was that? Why don't I play b5?
Take on the e6.
I was kind of hoping you might do that. I I guess you can just
I
go
would
for the
just-
full
and then just
defense.
be passive.
Yeah. It's like,
Should
okay.
be enough for me.
I agree wholeheartedly. Apologies. Wholeheartedly. Okay, so he's threatening back rank mate. You make Luft, and this is how the players reached a draw very quickly. All right, and and then Justin versus Elshan, also drawn. Bogo Indian. Do you play the
I
Nimzo
do.
Indian, Bogo
I
Indian
do.
complexes?
It was black. I tried A5 a couple of times.
You played A5.
Yeah.
So my main move was Queen E7.
I tried that one
also.
too. I like them.
I do. And some people even have played C7, C5, which is a really confounding move because you're giving up.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, you give up your ability to hit the center.
Yeah.
But A5,
Controlling the queen side is interesting.
A5 is a kind of a nice move because it offers a trade, but on my terms, I'll get the half open A file, A2, A3, and when I'm white and I get to include the move A3, you get to play the move A5. I like the inclusion for white. The
I
reason
also feel like it because I would prefer to have my pawn on A6 to
then
control
B5, right?
And you remember like Italian
Yes.
structures,
Sure.
people always confuse, should I play A6, A5?
Right.
And then when they play A5, usually there's a move bishop B5, bishop takes C6. It's just like whole mess. You
Right.
need to know exactly what you should do, but move, otherwise it's hard.
Hard to play.
Yeah.
G2, G3, so the players are, whoa.
D5.
Knight C6, D5.
Is
Well,
that some sort of preparation?
I always like this Russian expression, very aggressive. Very aggressive. D5, let's go. Okay. And Elshan kind of going into a King's Indian formation without the dark square bishop. So he's saying, I'm okay. By the way, the move A4, very nice at this exact moment because it means that white can't go for B4 and C5. Let's see how this goes. Queen C2, pause, pause, pause. Rook D1. Not a fan. Not a fanboy of Rook D1. Break down the position for us, and I'll share thereafter what my approach is. Go ahead. What do you think White's plan is?
Well,
He played the
pawn
move Rook
structure
D1
is
by the.
indicating that we need to play on queen side.
Okay. Fair. Fair.
So I would try to. I kind of don't like my knight on F3.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe I should do knight E1, knight D3.
Okay.
And then also they have a bigness on A4, right?
Right.
So and then try to push E4, C5, or immediately maybe C5.
Right.
But they can play B6.
Yeah, and usually, for example,
And
after
then
knight
probably
E1, I'll play C5. The idea
Yeah.
behind the move C5, well, it's
Yeah.
pretty simple to stop you from playing C5.
But now you have different problems in the position, right?
What are my new problems? I've got problems. I know I got problems. What are the new problems?
Potential weakness on D6.
True.
So I can think of taking on C6 or not, but I don't like taking it because your
Okay.
pieces are starting to work.
Okay.
And I can actually play F4, E4. E4, F4, knight D3, rook now comes to E1, rook A,
Okay,
E1.
so like for example, knight D3, queen A5, rook A, E1, queen A6, all very, very standard stuff. Gift me the pawn. If your knight moves, for example, then I go B5 and try to activate the bishop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my take on the position, 16 pawns on the board. Position's closed. Position's closed. That's all you need to know. Is it an open position? So it goes like this. A closed position, no pawn trades. Half open position, one pair of pawns or two pairs of pawns have been traded. Open position, two pairs of pawns have been traded. Open position, closed position. In a closed position, it's incumbent. You absolutely have to drill this into your mind. You always have it in your thought. who has the pawn breaks? If your opponent has the pawn breaks, they have the ability to make an initiative, the ability to make threats. If you have the pawn breaks, conversely, it's on your side, right? So
to
what are the
decide what kind of change.
Exactly. So in this position, it's about the pawn breaks. C6 versus C5 on one side of the board, F4 on the other side of the board. So my approach to the position, just a second, right here, is not the move Queen D2. This move is actually useful, and in the pawn breaks, imagine we go C6, C takes D5, C takes D5, open file. Do I want my queen on C2? Maybe not. So in this position, you definitely play E4. Bishop D7, right? Knight E1, C6, it's up to you, doesn't matter. CD, yes, CD, CD. Or if you want, you could play C5, doesn't matter, Knight D3. Your pawn break is going to be B5, but my pawn break is going to be F4. And I'm going to take on take on F6.
Yeah, so you tricked me. You gave me the position with Queen C2, and then immediately you
went back and said, "Here we go." So I don't like Justin's approach. I'm saying that when you're in a closed position, think in terms of your pawn breaks and adjust your pieces accordingly. And in this case, if you could play E4 and F4 in one turn, illegal.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I would rather have, bang, if I've got my pawn on F4, my knight on D3. By the way, your intuition was that the knight on F3 is wrongly placed, and you're absolutely right. The knight on F3 is wrongly placed. Rook A5. Okay, this is too clever. The
rook C5 and B5.
Yeah, the rook doesn't.
Yes, sir. This generation.
I know.
They need to apologize.
My classical understanding is being tasered. By the way, Knight D2, not bad, not bad.
Even after Rook A5, it feels like you want to play Knight D1, Knight D3. But
exactly, and I would have again just said, why did you put your knight, pardon me, why did you put your rook on?
They want to play Rook C5, that's a little bit...
Well, you don't have to ask me twice. I'm going to take your pawn with reluctance.
Yeah, I don't think
Great
have any,
reluctance.
Wait, am I missing something?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to take it. I love the idea of putting a knight on D3, going E4,
Especially
F4.
after Rook A5, you need to consider Knight E1, right?
Absolutely. By the way, look at my match with Henrik Mecking. Henrik Mecking was a top flight grandmaster from Brazil. Do you know who's the youngest grandmaster in the world?
Yeah.
Who?
Abhi Mishra.
Correct, Mishra. Do you know how old he was when he became the youngest grandmaster in the world?
14.
I think it was 12 plus months. Yeah.
Wait, that's 14 is too late.
Yeah, 12 plus, say, 3 months. Doesn't matter.
5, I guess?
Something like that.
Something 5, I guess. It was
Okay, this is like the most ridiculous thing of all time.
Yeah.
So when I grew up in chess, Bobby Fischer had been a grandmaster at 15. And it was like ridiculous. That was a world record that nobody will ever break. Yeah. That's what we were sure of. There was only 100 grandmasters in the world. And wow, that's ridiculous. End of story. So I became a grandmaster 19 years and 10 months. 19 years and 10 months. Okay. And at the time, I felt pretty good. So I looked up the records of Bobby Fischer's the youngest. Yeah, we get that, we get that. Who was number 2? Who was number 2?
I don't know. Yes, sir.
Boris Spassky.
Really?
Yeah, Boris. He was the youngest grandmaster before Bobby Fischer. He was 18 years. 18 years old.
We just all know Bobby Fischer.
Exactly.
Because he was like young.
Of course.
And after that, Koryakin.
Exactly. And then Judith Polgar and others. They all came and they pushed the world record down to 12 plus whatever. After Boris Spassky, the third youngest was Henrik Mecking. Oh. The man I just mentioned, who I played the match with in Brazil. I was the 4th youngest. at the time. I was the 4th youngest grandmaster in the history. Today, I'd never, because
not making
19
it
years,
so tough.
I don't even know top 100. Get out of
Probably,
here.
that
I
is
mean,
also true.
it's crazy.
Lots of Indians, like 16,
oh,
15, so much.
They're killing each other's world's records. Rook A5, Queen A8. I mean, again, we kind of getting a little bit off track here for Black. I don't know what Black is. Wow, Justin, what are you doing? You're sacrificing a pawn. Stop my beating heart. He didn't
I'm
take
sorry,
the pawn.
Yasser. I need to apologize for this game.
What's going on? Help me. You do me a solid. Why didn't he take the pawn?
Maybe the transaction is not, like, transmission is not great.
Well, I'm not sure about that. So, what would you do? Give me a move. I mean, isn't Justin's plan to go knight e4?
I mean, if I take, you want to take bishop e4, f5? What's your plan?
Well, sure, I'm a pawn up. What, you know?
Yeah, so I can take on d5 though, no?
Yeah.
And it's like the exchange?
Well, there is a check, right?
Oh, do you think it's...
Yeah.
No, I wanted to sacrifice the exchange. Do you think it will? No?
Don't sacrifice the exchange.
For 2 pawns.
But you're a pawn up already. You're going to take the knight. So it's been working for 1,500 years. Went ahead, material trade. I mean, it's
Don't sacrifice. That's my problem. I always think about wait
a second. But he didn't play.
No, I don't understand. Let me
Please,
try
help.
to understand what's
Me.
going on. Yeah, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
After missing mate in one, the other
here it
day?
comes. I understand now. Queen take. Yeah.
No,
I
then
was really
before.
ashamed of your missing the mate in
I was
one.
very ashamed of you missing it before.
Yes,
here.
exactly. So
We're
this
not
is
missing this. It's too easy, right?
so this is why we don't take with the queen. Now
Wait,
the
can we
question
still
is,
do the same?
bingo. Can we still do the same? So we go like b4,
What?
right?
But
Now,
I can. Yeah, go ahead. Reza.
okay. So now in this case, I'm quickly. Okay.
You're counting the pawns.
Well, no, I'm wondering, do I want my queen on a5 or c5? If I sacrifice the exchange, my queen could be on a5 in one variation, on c5 in the next. Here we have the 2 pawns.
But if you put it on a5, then you're not grabbing a3 pawn. Most probably this is the
Oh no! In both cases, I was grabbing the
Oh,
a3
you wanted.
pawn.
Oh, you wanted this version of it.
Yeah, in both cases, I was always grabbing
But
this pawn.
can I have something else here? Rook a1.
Yeah.
Rook a1, rook a5, rook b1 is coming here. I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
Seems like
I remain tasered. But if you're white and you can play c5 and it's passing through 3 attackers, the pawn on d6, the queen on. Okay, that's a visual. Justin, oh my. Okay, now I'm confused. Why do you play f5 when you're white? Imagine you just played f5. Why did you play f5?
Just to
go
f6,
correct.
hopefully.
Yes. So why did you play c5?
Just to play, it was a beautiful move.
c6, right?
But c6, I think he didn't know what the outer text bishop e6 most probably.
Almost absolutely certain.
But and then rook c5. Now rook c5.
Now rook c5. Okay, just a second.
I'm not sure if c5 is a great move. After all.
Excuse me. I love my pawn on c6.
Oh, can I play d5?
No. Pardon me, you can. It's actually legal.
It is legal, but bishop f7 is coming. I'm not getting anything. It's okay, yeah.
Should I show you what you might have missed?
No, you don't have to.
I don't.
Okay. It's my thoughts.
Anyway, I'm saying when you play f5, your
Yeah.
goal is to play f6. When you play g5, your goal is to play keep pushing. So dude, Why did you play rook b1? Okay, this game is confounding, it's confusing, we have too many questions. We're going to let the players explain themselves. And by the way, I love this knight on d6.
No.
You might think to yourself the knight on d6 is horrible. No, it's an octopus. It defends
Everything in the position.
everything in the position, and it blocks the rooks. The files are all being closed. I wouldn't be surprised if Elshan, whether rightfully or wrongfully, felt that he was actually better.
Yeah.
He's standing in a better position at this moment.
Oops.
Oopsie daisy. E3. No, this should be good for. My goodness, I think that this is a clear example. We didn't use the word, but I think it's a very clear example of a player whose confidence has been shattered a bit.
Yeah.
I think Elshan's confidence, he's had a poor result from earlier games that he had. I think he's doing really well, and he should not be repeating. I think, you just kind of stop and look at the position after takes, and whatever plan you come up with, it's not
Even
bad.
king f7, I guess, possible.
Any move.
Just preparing exchange of.
Yeah,
queens.
I mean, queen b5, queen b4. Again, I think white's king is a little bit more vulnerable. I like black, but okay. Again, if you're not feeling confident, then
There are some days you come to the round and your love
you have a
comes
low
to
energy.
like energy,
No.
and then or your mood is not right.
Exactly.
You
Right.
feel like, oh, I don't want to play today.
Exactly.
And then in such situations, when you have a chance to repeat, you just repeat, go home, and try to understand what's wrong.
Great story. Ready for a great story?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm in Mar del Plata, Argentina, and I'm playing in a super strong tournament. Just everybody. Just think about, Ben Larson, Lajos Portish, Anatoly Karpov, Lev Polygaevsky, Miguel Najdorf, just like the host of legends of who's who.
My dream.
Right? And I'm reading this really wonderful novel, Shogun, whatever, and it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. The grounds usually start at 3 o'clock. We're playing in Mar del Plata, Argentina, this tourist resort on the coast of Argentina. It's just
Must be
absolutely gorgeous.
there.
We're staying at the really wonderful hotel, the Hermitage Hotel. 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a knock on the door. What the heck, man? 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a knock on the door. What's going on? I open up the door, and there's Miguel Najdorf. Miguel Najdorf, world-class grandmaster. He's in a suit. He looks wonderful. Yasser, we must play. I said, what? We must play. What are you talking about? We've got a tournament game in, 13 hours. What are you talking about? We must play. No, you don't understand. I feel it. I feel like I'm in the mood to play chess, and I'm sure if we play chess right now, this moment, I will make a brilliancy for the ages. Let's go play blitz. I said, dude, you may be in a mood to play, but I'm not in any kind of mood to play. Get the hell out the door and go away. What are you, nuts? So sometimes what you were just saying, sometimes you're in the mood and sometimes you're not in the mood.
Exactly.
But to create that brilliancy, it's like that magical moment when you're in the right mood. The
Exactly.
moment is right. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Leave me alone.
So you are the
Refused.
reason why he didn't create the brilliance.
Correct.
Next day.
That's exactly right. And I'm very proud of myself to this very day. A draw in this game. Let's just take
let's
one more look at the game between Arman and Luka for just a second. It's the only game we haven't seen, and it's a total mess. I don't have any clue. By the way,
Oh my God. What kind of chess
that's a
is
beautiful. I've seen a lot of nice patterns, but that is really a beautiful one. That you get the royal fork, and you can't save the queen.
Yeah.
That's very unusual. Okay, We're going to be a little bit fast. My storytelling has really cut into our.
It seems like
you tell me.
Arman is doing good here.
Can I take?
That's what I was calculating, yes, sir.
And
if you take on f5 is the knight, yeah. And knight b7 is an option as well, because after knight b7, if you move
also queen takes f5. But this, yeah,
this
something's
seems crushing too.
Yeah, something's telling me my spidey sense is tingling here. Arman might be doing well.
Actually, after queen f5, I can play queen e7, and you cannot take rook e6 because of rook d1.
I apologize. What were you saying there?
Yeah, after knight f5, knight f5, knight e6, bishop e6, rook e6. Bishop e6.
No. Knight f5, knight f5, knight e6, bishop e6.
And then queen f5, queen e7 is possible.
Queen f5, queen e7.
Unfortunately, you're.
Ooh.
Maybe I have some chances. Don't you think so?
Tough rook ending, I must say. The possibility of this 3-1 majority must be in white's favor, right?
But we had something similar, and
yes,
then
these rook endings. That's another thing. Look at rook endings. Rook endings.
Oh my God!
It's like cheating. You're gonna get rook endings, so study your rook endings. By the way, Andrew Hong, as when we left it, we kind of thought it was about even-ish. And by the way, he did get the 2 bishops. Right?
Yes.
Although he didn't toss in that move bishop f5, forcing. We were looking at a f2 takes g3 position.
It was very unexpected. We were like thinking he's pushing, and then boom, and he's pieced down.
Okay. By the way, now Akshat has got the type of position that we would expect white to have.
I think, Yasser, what you suggested was great. Knight e4, bishop h4, and then, as we mentioned, if he's not like attacking, starting to create some threats, white's position is good, better, in fact.
Akshat has made great strides, whereas Andrew Hong has played bishop to c8, bishop to b8. You know, there's a lot of pleasures in chess. One pleasure, checkmate the opponent. Taking your opponent's pieces is a great pleasure.
I know.
Right? It feels good. Attacking your opponent's pieces with a gain of tempo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even Yasser having this square, such like d4 square.
Yeah. Oh, that's an outpost, occupying an outpost. But for me, I also take a great pleasure when my opponent is retreating their pieces. Mm-hmm. And in this case,
you feel like you're overcoming your opponent.
Right. You're
psychological.
Please, Andrew, if you want, you can put your bishop back off the board. Keep retreating. I don't care.
I mean, that's what happened.
I am not a fan of what Andrew did because guess what?
I wasn't a fan of what he did with like rook c5, d5.
Yeah, this is already, First of all, the bishops are, to quote Dorsa, shish kebab. You're going to be skewered, shish kebab. You're going to get skewered. The bishops are lined up. By the way, bishop takes d. That just wins. It's over.
It's just like over.
Yeah, it's
so winning. You don't have to even like think about it.
Yeah.
f4. Why would you play f4? It doesn't make sense. Yes.
Well, no. I think I personally would probably play bishop takes d5 myself. I think the idea of f4. I understand. The bishop controls the knight. You want to make sure the knight comes out.
For me, it's like a very weird move, f4 to play.
Well, no. If you take on c3, I'm a piece up.
Yeah, but like you can take on d5. I do understand your knight is kind of not there, but like
what he's afraid.
Yeah, but you can play f4 anytime.
All I can say is I understand from Akshat, he's saying, I just want to rescue the knight.
Immediately. Right?
Immediately. Or in the words of Walter Brown, immediately. Mm-hmm. Immediately. I rescue the knight. Now you can resign with a clear conscience. Yep. If you take on c3 and go here and here, you can resign with a clear conscience.
Yeah, probably it's great that he's still like cautious about the position, even though he's like a piece up. He's like, okay, let's play f4.
By the way,
that knight is coming
huge
out.
result for these two players, as we do see on screen. That I do believe that's Akshat.
Yeah.
Andrew comes
Yeah.
with a half a point lead.
Now Akshat is gonna grab the first place, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Look
Oh
at Andrew's looking across the board at the score sheet. Says, "What's wrong with your score sheet, dude?" He's looking at the score sheet as if it's meaningful.
He's shaking something.
Right?
I don't know what.
That's kind of funny.
Oh, he complained to the arbiter. It feels like.
You got to keep an up-to-date.
Wait,
score
what's
sheet.
this? Why everyone is checking his score sheet?
Exactly.
That is so
By the way,
weird.
how about you? Do you keep a good score sheet? Can you read your score sheet?
Yeah,
at the end?
absolutely, I
Yeah,
can.
Me too.
But like my handwriting is awful, but I understand that.
But because
I don't just do that. I've seen people just writing just to
exactly,
write something.
exactly.
But for me, I think, especially when I play with great chess players, sometimes I have a chance to play with them. I'm lucky, so I want to keep it.
a nice
It's
score
like
sheet of the game.
Absolutely.
Viktor Korchnoi, he started his score sheets very well. By move 18, you don't know what the heck he's written. Same with Palbenko. His score sheets were an absolute mess. So because I played with those players and their score sheets were like ridiculous, I learned to stop. Look, I don't care about your score sheet. The only score sheet I care about is my own. So I try to keep a clear score sheet, and I like writing down the times as well. Quick question for you. Do you use what we call long algebraic or short algebraic? In other words, do you write E2, E4, the long version, or E4?
Just E4.
The short version.
When I text, sometimes I even forget to put text, like, which is X, right?
Yes.
So
X
I
for capture.
I try to just do that.
Or a cross sign, a plus for check.
Yeah,
for
C takes D5, for example.
And the
CD,
hashtag checkmate.
CD5, something like that.
So I strongly advise everybody, especially amateur players, to use the long algebraic. Why? Because it's a very funny thing. When you're sitting at the board, you're easily confused. A lot of crazy things come into your mind. What are we having for dinner tonight? Why did that thought come into your mind? You should be calculating this checkmating pattern, but crazy thoughts come into your mind. So what happens is when you write down a long algebraic, E2, E4, in your subconscious, you're planting this idea that your piece went from one square to another. You went queen A1, queen H8. And it's sort of like this memory. It reinforces the fact, where did your queen come from? Yeah. So long algebraic, in my opinion, is the preferred, the much preferred method. And if you look at some of the really great players, long algebraic. Anyway, for Akshat, I don't exactly understand why the game is continuing. This is an extra.
Andrew is tilted. He's just playing.
Yeah.
Just
what else to do? I mean,
also he's
the buffet
known,
doesn't open until 6 o'clock.
Also, he's known that he never resigns. He just plays to the end.
He just plays to the end. Okay, well, that's an interesting repeat. I never did that. I tipped my hat when I thought I
sometimes
wanted to give
I
it a
do
rest.
that when I'm angry at myself.
Yes.
Then it's not about my opponent. It's not about the game. It's just
That's
about
right.
me. You know?
Exactly. G5. When I see the move G5, it's like my heart skips a beat, and I say, "Can I occupy the F5 square?" So for me,
yeah, he immediately plays bishop.
immediately it would be like, a fast twitch muscle fiber. I immediately think, if I put my bishop on F5, just imagine this. Do you think in terms of shields? Like a shield. Okay, so you've got your shield, but you have your personal space, right? So but these pieces, the bishop on F5 will shield and keep the king from coming to the queen side, right? There's no king to the queen side. And then when you put the bishop on f5, there's no king to the queen side.
Yeah.
So you contain the king in
Yeah.
a nice little shield. So then when I put the bishop on f5, I put the pawn on f3. My king is free to roam. I can go anywhere I want.
And then plus
Being a piece up
being
helps.
a piece up also.
Brandon Jacobson. We haven't taken a gander. Where did we get isolated queen pawn? By the way, again, a kind of a position that you really should study is these isolated queen pawns where one player has the so-called bad bishop. The bad bishop is the bishop that is on the same color as the pawn. When there's lots of pieces on the board, the bad bishop isn't so bad. Be careful.
I love having like e6 bishop whenever I have d5 isolated pawn. Because,
Really?
yeah.
Ooh.
It's known that you can do, like you can exchange and your position is not as bad as, for example, you didn't have the bishop. For example, if you had black square bishop somewhere and the knight on f4, it's immediately lost.
Right. Yes.
Usually.
Okay, I understand. Like the pawn. First impressions is I like the duo. The imbalance.
Yeah.
Of the knight versus the bishop, because there's not a. If you put a lot more pieces on the board, a pair of rooks and another pair of knights, this bishop, you know, the threats of things on the king's side, I have to take seriously. When you've got no pieces to attack me with, well,
Then
I'm not so worried. By the way, with the move Queen H5, if it's my turn, gift me the pawn. So
That's what I wanted to ask. Can I play d4? Apparently, you did
he
play
asked
b4.
the same question. Queen F3, F5, and we're up to date with the player. Please.
Yasser, whose position you like more now?
Right. I mean, if black gets to play the move D4 and I don't win material, I'm not a happy camper. But here's the question.
I'm not a fan of knight moving to b4.
Whoa. I do see a peshki.
Where are you jumping?
Well, I check
Okay.
and gift me the pawn.
I will gift you the pawn and take another pawn of yours. Queen
Do you
b2.
want to check, or do you want to?
Can I just take?
Okay.
Can I just take on a3?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold that position.
Okay, but you may, seriously, and I think the position is a draw. Look at the game between Seirawan and I think it was Zhu Jun. Sorry, it was a grandmaster from the Olympiad. It was the game that couldn't devour China. We had in the Northwest. This was hilarious, folks. You got to see this issue. It's like the funniest issue ever. So on the cover of the chess magazine, the local Northwest chess magazine, shout out to all the people who make the Northwest chess magazine, by the way, was on the top was the game that couldn't devour China. And it was a dragon. And inside the dragon was the moves. And then you turned the page, and the dragon went throughout the entire magazine because it was 220 pages, 220 moves. So this 32-page magazine had one game. It was like a ribbon. The dragon, it was a draw. And we had, I am not joking, seriously, we had like 5 adjournments. I had a queen and 5 pawns versus a queen and 4 pawns, and we adjourned. Queen and 3 pawns, queen and 4 pawns versus a queen and 3, queen and 3 versus a queen and 2, queen and 2. Okay. Our team captains had to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning every single morning, and the Chinese team captain, I'll remember his name in just a second. The Chinese team captain, the game had eventually been a draw.
Yeah.
Queen and 3 versus queen and 2.
Yeah.
He got up. He had been he had been going religiously to the playing hall. He went to the playing hall, sat in the playing hall, and realized the game was over. So
Oh my God.
it was really, really a
So
funny.
you tortured your...
For 5 Germans, it was the longest game of my career.
Really?
Lasted-
230 moves?
Yeah, 220, I think. It lasted 6 days. Sorry.
How could you, Yasser?
Hey, look, I mean, in the meantime, the American team captain eloped with the first board from the Soviet women's team.
Okay.
During the competition, the American Elena Ashmaskova, she scored, I am not joking, it's really, look it up, it's like 9 out of 11, and he ran off with the Soviet first board. It was like, I lost my team. What the heck, man? It's crazy. Akshat, we still seeing, we did, by the way, bishop f3, and then it's just,
This
it's
game is
all
already
about,
gone and done for Andrew, but he's just...
absolutely. King d4, king e3, king d4, c4, c5. Then you can please sign my very nice score sheet.
I don't think he's gonna do that.
Do you know I played, I am not joking, a dozen games with Garry Kasparov?
Yeah.
And every score sheet, I have the original with his handwriting, except for one.
The one you won?
Correct. The one I won.
It's not too late,
He
Yasser.
sent his team captain, F.M. Geller, to sign on his behalf.
I mean, you have Geller signed.
That's true. I got to get Gary to sign.
got a good deal.
My
So
score sheet. I got
now-
an extra score sheet.
Exactly.
Extra signature.
Now you can send it to him and ask
He
kindly.
comes to St. Louis often, so
There
I
we
say,
go.
Gary,
It's time.
Yeah, it's time. Let's go. Let's go. Brandon, this is the position. I did it kind of in a flippant manner. I traded everything on d4, unless White has something very, very concrete right here. If I have to go for this whole line with Queen A8, as we said, I'm not happy. Another way you could have played it, and I was a little bit surprised because you're really an attacking player and you went for trades. I was really surprised you took here. I would have expected you're kind of a naturally gifted player to go on the attack, and to try to make a draw with a perpetual. Like, I'll take your bishop.
Yeah,
you
and
make a
probably this is a better way. I was just trying to...
prove a point,
Yeah.
there. But I
that
think
white
that's
black should hold even.
yeah.
without the pawn.
I think so as well. Just go for the perpet, and
Most
that's a nice
probably
way
Queen
to-
d4 and f4. You might have problems now, me, I guess.
Yeah. Once again, this wasn't. Where was that game where we had the 2 knights and it was a checkmate? I think it was from the other section.
It was Luka's game.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Luka's game. They traded the knight.
Oh, it was. Yeah, okay. Because
You remember knight b2 one? Like jump knight b2 and
Yeah,
then attacking d3, d.
Exactly.
Now knight b7. We
Knight
have a lot
b7.
of knight jumps in this tournament.
okay. Wow. Okay, he's ready to go check, and you can take this knight, but he'll take the bishop. Well, in fact, that
Interesting.
was the game. So he's threatening this fella.
But as long as I exchange, my
Queens.
position is getting better, no?
Absolutely.
As black, of
whenever you're on the defensive and you get to trade, it doesn't matter, queens, rooks, any kind of trades.
Plus I am pawn
it's a
up.
relief.
Plus I'm pawn up, so
Who's counting now? But who's counting,
I
right?
always count. Yes.
E5. Okay.
There we go. I'm just saving the pawn, and I'm like,
You're
show
fighting-
me what you can.
You're fighting. Luka's back in business here.
Absolutely.
I was afraid he was going down big time, like some glorious
Well,
or
I hope he
inglorious
didn't
way.
flag though. Our screen's showing he flagged.
Zeros.
Yeah, I hope he didn't flag.
Well, we'll take a
That
look
would
at
be a disaster.
inside the playing hall. We have a big shout out to our production team too, by the way.
They're
They're doing
doing
a
a
very
great
nice
job.
job at keeping up with us, showing us the
Absolutely.
players. Also, shout out to the players. I always joke that the players, they want to run to their room. They don't necessarily want to come and join us.
They're
and
not
we
as
use
talkative,
exactly
outgoing as us,
right. So handcuffs, but don't use the Ziploc plastic handcuff. Get the professional steel. They'll break. If you think you're gonna grab them with plastics, you need the good stuff. Knight c4. Your quick take. Would you like to be the initiative dynamic, or you're kind of defending?
I kind of love initiative, but here I'm pawn up. Why won't I try? But the problem is that, of course, your rook is badly placed on a8, so
exactly.
Still, you want to play with white, and then rook d1, rook d6 is coming.
Rook d1, rook d6. Yeah, that initiative. That's. Yeah, I like the pawn. I like the initiative.
Yes, sir. Funny thing.
What?
I can actually go. Knight e3, knight f4.
Now that's the thing. The knight on c4 looks good, but it doesn't attack anything. Knight on f4, conversely, you're looking towards the king and e6 square. Yeah, I like that.
It's too long.
It's tempy. It's time consuming, but okay. It goes to show
that
that
you don't have anything else to do. At least you can do that. It shows that you have more than enough compensation.
More than enough. That's exactly what it is. Brandon, yep, we've seen this. And once again, wow, Andrew keeps playing. I mean, boy, this is those who never admit defeat are seldom ever defeated.
Yeah,
Ah.
they can be defeated. That's
well, he's going down in defeat, but he's not admitting it.
In general, that's the quote. Yes.
Right. Yeah, well, Andrew, let's see what you're going to do. I'm going to switch.
Let's go to the Group A. We have a result. Sasikiran and Nikolas Theodorou agreed on a yeah, so we left it here, right?
Not too.
And then right here they agreed.
Because we were saying bishops of opposite colors, but right here a draws agreed. I think for Nikolas, this was very nice. Very nice. Black against one of the highest rated players in the field. He's doing well in the tournament.
And still keeping his kind of lead around there.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. And I'm thinking, well, he'll be pleased.
Who offered the draw? I'm always curious in such moments. I wonder who offered the draw.
Nowadays, by the way, I think in the old days it was confusing. Nowadays, I think it's very clear that Black offered the draw, and he offered the draw with the move rook e2, and White accepted.
Do you think all the chess players do as according to the rule?
Yeah, I do. I think that they're better trained than in my day. So in my day, you could make a draw offer on your opponent's time while they were thinking, and they would accept. And so then it was confused. Well, because the rule was you're supposed to make your move and offer a draw, but we always violated it. I did not, but I'm saying a lot of players did by just offering me a draw while I was thinking. So I think today we've got a better understanding that it was in fact Nikolas who offered the draw after the move rook e2. But there are a number of times that it's very, very confusing why the draw offered occurred. There was a great article in a magazine called Not the British Chess Magazine. So it was a one issue. So this magazine comes out of the UK, Not the British Chess Magazine. It was a spoof. And it was like thumbs down on the top of there's a stamp, thumbs down. So you open up the magazine and it was like blunder of the year. So in those days we had the Chess Informant, the game of the year. Ooh, very prestigious. And $1,000 for the game of the year.
Really?
As well as $1,000 for the novelty of the year. Anyway, there is the blunder of the year. And
how much?
I don't know what the players received, but of course the blunder of the year went to somebody who was down under in Australia. Where else? Of course Australia would win. So what was the blunder of the year? So the blunder of the year was a man leans across the board and says, "Would you like a draw?" And the other player says, show me your move first.
Show me state.
Show me your move. So the guy sacrificed a rook that forces mate in 3. The player resigned, forgetting about the draw. Blunder of the year. You should have taken the draw. Why did you take the draw?
Oh my God.
Great. It was fun. Dariusz.
Well, I would
John.
qualify for blunder of the year.
I think we've all made some really great ones. It's funny, when we left it, we kind of thought that John had returned the pawn for the dynamic of having an attack. Guess what? We now look at the position, the current position, and it's sort of like Dariusz to return the pawn for the dynamics.
He somehow was able to create some attack. I don't know if you can call it an attack or not. It's just like something, right?
Right.
Some pain.
Yeah, I mean, this is awkward, but the last move, A5, shows the determination to keep the pawn. Your take on the position? I mean, you're not getting. Oh, maybe you are. Are you getting out of the pin by?
I can get him, but still, I feel like White has enough compensation for the pawn.
Okay,
They have some play, but it can, like, maybe I have some ideas. If you bring the king on g6, for example, king g7, knight h5, king g6.
Yes.
Maybe now I can create some things after, like, I cannot do it immediately, but like e5 and queen c2 or queen b1.
check.
And if you even like move the rook from f7, queen g8 is an idea as well.
Okay, so first of all, so just to give the viewers an idea of the kinds of things we're talking about, rook takes, there's a check on g8, but also what Begim wants to try to do. With the king on g6, there's a check on that diagonal. And we could trade rooks too. We could get a situation where maybe you're not that happy having your king on, g6. Things could happen.
In general, it's like, it might be shaky, and then because of the king's placement, I can get back my pawn, which is like b6 is a weakness after a5.
Yeah, I always make jokes about Peter Svidler and how he plays chess. So Peter Svidler, a very dynamic player, most especially with the black pieces. He loves the Grunfeld defense. But Peter is happy when he sacrificed a pawn. When he's a pawn down, he's really, really, really happy. When he's a pawn up, he's a little bit nervous. But a pawn down. So right now, Peter would say he's a little bit nervous as black, but it all depends. It's a pawn. It all depends. Like, let's say the current position, a lot of it depends. If you're playing for a win as white, it's all about whether or not you're going to get in the move e5. I don't think you're taking too many risks. It's not like you have a risk of losing, as you can always do this. So if you go back just a move here, I'm a little bit surprised by the move queen a2, if you don't mind.
Why not queen
d5, because again,
I think he rejected it because of queen b5.
Okay. And so if I go here, again, I'm trying to get in the move e5.
Are you sure Dariusz wants to have a draw? That's the question too.
I'm confused. I don't know what.
It depends on his assessment of his chances and position.
And my judgment and somebody else's judgment might be totally divergent.
Different.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, if I'm white, I really want to play e5, and if I'm black, I want to make sure that I never.
Probably Dariusz wants to put knight h5 to make sure that king g7, king g6 won't work, and I have a feeling he's thinking his position is actually better.
Despite being a pawn down.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. By the way, after the move knight h5, I do believe rook takes and knight takes f6 check is a threat that I should prevent or pay attention to. So imagine I play king h8. In this case, if you do go for the pawn, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that you want to do that, we do have this one very interesting,
Are they interesting or bad?
right? I mean, who's, two connected passed pawns are more dangerous?
I think it's just blacks. Maybe.
I do too. So, by the way, is time a factor in these two?
Yeah, Dariusz has 3 minutes and John Burke has only 1 minute left.
Wow, we don't say that very often because
know.
usually Dariusz is the one who's behind on the clock. A
As
very
you mentioned.
unique experience for him. And look at the intensity. Look at Dariusz. He's really, he's getting in. And, well, that 1 minute.
Also, we keep saying I said queen d5, queen b5, but then rook f7 is hanging actually. It's not easy.
By the way, e5 on the board. Let's try to break this one down for ourselves. So I'm imagining we're going to take, right? Imagine I play knight here. So I want to fool you, trick you badly. What am I doing? King h8. I would.
Yasser.
Oh, no. So it means that, so what he wants, I know it. He wants to put his bishop and his knight on d4, so he has some. I don't know.
I can play knight f5 here.
But I'm hanging my bishop is my problem.
No, knight f5. Yes.
Knight f5. Apologies. Of course you do. Knight f5. Knight takes. Whoop. Checkmate in 2 can be proudly announced. Knight f5.
My idea is to play bishop d4. And then
Which
queen a2 is great because you don't have queen e2 anymore.
I mean, talk about, I oftentimes mention this as battlefields.
Yeah.
The chess board is your battlefield and there are primary squares. So a primary square for your rook is the 7th rank. Literally any square along the 7th rank, the 7th rank. Primary squares for your knights are like c5 all the way across to f5 to f6 all the way across. Primary square. Bishops on the long diagonal. And it's sort of like if you can get all of those things, usually it's a killer. Well, usually there's no question about it. Wow. So all of the pieces, but go ahead, kill me. Just show me why I'm dead. And I probably am.
Bishop d4.
But I'm trying
Maybe rook.
desperately.
You're trying to take on f5.
Correct.
I can just go back.
Sorry?
I can go back right now.
Back.
Knight g3.
You know what I said about the pleasures of chess? You're retreating. Thank you. Okay, go back further.
But I'm threatening knight h5, which is like very powerful.
So you go knight to g3.
I feel like, my mission is done, and then let's go back and then just put knight h5.
I just love your retreat.
I just love it.
That you're retreating.
Now I can play knight a5 back.
That's great.
How are
door
you protecting?
Door opens, door closes. What is the threat?
Bishop e5, actually.
Knight h6 check.
No, bishop e5. I want to play bishop e5.
Okay. So if you take, I take.
For now, it's hanging. That's the question. Is it hanging?
What's hanging? I don't know what's going on. I think this is a completely confused position. By the way, did they make time control?
They just did after e5. After queen e2, actually.
E5. So they've made time. The
Now
players can take a deep
he's
deep
going to
breath.
take his time to think about it.
So a5. So time control wasn't an issue there. 13 minutes.
And
that's why we've got that strange 0-0-0.
Yeah.
We're waiting for black to make a move. I guess.
Also, we officially have the result. Akshat won against Andrew.
Bravo. That was a huge result because Andrew came into today's competition.
And then we'll see
leadership.
him. We'll
Yes.
see Akshat in the studio very soon.
Okay, well, hold your hats for that one, folks. Again, we've been discussing this game of Dariusz and John. We think that this is a very, very exciting game. big game for these two top players. Again, your quick take, you like the initiative, I know. I've been sitting next to you for 5-6. I feel the aggression. Very dynamic. You want to kill me. I walk in the studio, guys. I'm telling you. I walk in the studio, Begim is like, I'm going to hunt you down today. And do you like white?
I like white.
You like white.
I absolutely
I
like.
have no choice. I feel I have to take.
You're grabbing my pawn, of course.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunately, right?
I am grabbing your pawns. Give me your pawns, baby.
Also, John,
Takes, and takes.
John
And this is
decided
where
to take.
this is where you went knight f5,
And
which I think
Dariusz
is
immediately took with the pawn back.
yes. This is the current position.
This is the current position.
We feel the queen takes e5 is obliged. Knight f5 and
But Yasser, I'm sorry
Please.
to inform that I can even take on b6 and be greedy too.
oh, I understand, but that was we had mentioned that white is risking nothing.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the initiative. You can
Right.
just exchange it back to pawn and just make a draw.
Yeah,
Worst case.
This what we were fearful of is a very ambitious white player playing the move knight f5, intending bishop d4. We were talking about all of these
John
primary,
took on e5 as well.
right? All of these
Let's
prime
see.
squares.
Do you
Now
think
this
Dariusz
is
is going to take his time to think about it, or he's going to play immediately, like knight f5 or something,
think-
knight e4?
when he played the move e5, he had made the decision
Yeah.
here that he was going to take on b6. Absolutely yes. Or he had made the decision he would be playing knight f5. Absolutely yes.
I like knight e4. This is an option too.
You like knight e4. Not a primary square. Not bad.
The question is king g7. That's where I'm thinking what to do.
Because now we get out of this, pardon me,
Yeah.
I did the arrow in the wrong way. We get out of this pin and we're attacking the rook. It doesn't feel as crisp and crunchy, you know, like really
I get that.
holding. But knight f5, we're not threatening knight h6, but we definitely are ambitiously thinking about knight takes d6 as well as queen takes f7 in this case. That was where I went back with the queen. And we kind of reached this position, and I don't know, did we
I'm
come
not
to a
sure.
conclusion?
No, not yet. I'm not sure about bishop d4. Maybe I have something better.
Better than bishop d4?
I'm thinking rook c6. I know it's a weird move, but like what you're going to do after rook c6?
Okay, yeah, I mean, rook c6, not a bad move. My hand couldn't resist playing
I
bishop
know,
to
Yasser,
d4.
but like I'm actually threatening queen d5 here as well. And then you cannot move your king, rook, queen now.
I admit, I'm tied up. We are going to get ready for an interview with Akshat. We're going to lose you. Don't go far. We're going to pull you back in. You don't go
Absolutely.
very far.
Enjoy
As we
it.
look at this incredibly exciting game of Dariusz and John, we do have Akshat joining me in studio as, well, the final position, I must say, certainly better for white. I don't know, Akshat, but this final position sure feels comfy.
Yeah, I'm a few pawns in your piece.
Hi, welcome back into studio.
Appreciate it.
Important game, huge game, I was actually going to say, for the standings, Akshat. Tell us what happened.
I guess I surprised him in the opening with bishop d3. I mean, I didn't check it that
Surprised
much
me.
myself. Oh yeah?
What's bishop d3?
It's just a move to avoid like the heavy theoretical lines with d4, knight c3.
That's exactly what it is. It's just a hope and a prayer to get a playable position.
Pretty
Is that-
much, yeah.
H2, H3, just to...
Yes, this was still my prep. I was just following the game between Wesley and Fabi from the Singfield Cup.
Which begs the question. I mean, if I know that you want to play H3,
Bishop G4?
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
just-
That's a Yasser thing to do.
Exactly. I mean, you're going to go check. I'll go bishop e7, and then I got my bishop on g4. You
Yeah,
had
during
to
the
be-
game, I actually started wondering, what if he goes Bishop G4? Just kind of screwed there.
It's pretty funny. Okay, that was not a key position. Your bishop on d3 is in the way, so fine. Now you have, if you don't mind me saying, a kind of what I want to say a Taresh French position.
Pretty
with
much, yeah.
Isolated queen and pawn on d5 usually.
Yeah.
But black has more development than he usually has in this case.
I mean,
And
I think that's because
thought
I
he-
just misplayed it really poorly. I think
Right.
at this point he's okay after rook
Right,
c5.
right. I think he's equalized, right? What that was your take too.
Yeah, maybe if we could go back, there are like a few
Oh, sorry.
interesting lines which we
Apologies.
were looking at. Yeah, no worries. So like after CD4, I spent a lot of time on queen d3.
In this exact moment.
Yeah, because if I can induce g6, that favors me.
Well, you're kind of inducing g6.
Right, but the thing is he could play rook e8 as well, and I didn't see
No.
what to play at. And he
Really?
confirmed after the game that he was going to probably play
He's
that.
going to offer you the h pawn.
Yeah, king f8, and I just didn't see anything here. If I can't get an attack against this king, black should be fine. I don't know.
But you're there. You're
I'm,
just
I'm knocking on the
there.
door, but I can't get it down.
I mean, you're in his business. It feels
Yeah,
uncomfy.
queen
no?
b6 maybe.
Queen b6.
A bit underdeveloped as well.
True that. You are underdeveloped. Okay. If I'm going to have to play knight d2, I apologize. If I'm going to have to play knight d2, just do it, right?
Yeah, I'll probably grub.
And
I mean, for sure, white has good compensation,
you're there.
but somehow, I don't know, during the game it didn't seem so clear.
You weren't convinced.
Yeah, I thought I'll just play knight takes d4 and get a slightly better position.
So as much as you wanted to play the move queen d3, you were afraid that he would permit you to carry
Right,
out.
yeah, he would let me exactly carry out my plan.
How interesting is that? What you did instead, therefore, was take, queen a5, and you felt that you had to keep your bishop.
Yeah.
As opposed to bishop e3, you thought maybe
Yeah, I
the bishop was
thought
more of a
the
target.
bishop on that diagonal is kind of annoying for black. Exerts
Okay.
some pressure.
Very good. Tell me when you felt...
Yeah, after rook c5, I didn't think I was better at all.
At all.
Queen d3 looks a bit artificial now that I think about it.
Yeah,
It's wasting too much time. Maybe I should have gotten my knight out, knight a3, or played bishop b3.
okay.
But still, I'm not convinced that it's that much for white.
Or for black. I kind of thought the key moment kind of occurred here. He did not play... I thought the desired move was bishop f5. I thought you would play queen f1.
Queen e3 was in the air as well.
Queen e3
That may be
was
why
your
he avoided
intention.
it, yeah.
Wow, so in this particular case, I'm thinking,
Knight d4, I'm not sure it changes much.
not sure it changes, well,
Bishop g5, bishop f4. Yeah, if I get that trade, I'm happy. Okay,
Agreed.
Bishop h4 back.
agreed. We were, Begim and I, we were looking at variations, not using the computer, let me emphasize. So we saw variations where you get knight e4, bishop h4, and you feel like black might get a little scared.
No,
going.
for sure, it's a bit annoying.
All right, none of this happened because he did not play bishop f5, and at this moment, your feeling? You got
I mean,
something?
I was happy he grabbed on g3. I mean, objectively, it's completely fine for black, but that knight on e4, it's super hard to play it. Now at least the position's clarified a bit. I can just make moves.
And even these variations where you do get bishops of opposite
Right, yeah.
color,
They can be
you
annoying
might
for
be
black,
the
yeah.
one
Exactly.
enjoying life. Tell me when you reached a position where you felt, okay, now life is going good.
I mean, it was really till the end when he played queen f4. I mean,
This was the blunder.
Yeah, he was low on time already for the last couple moves, and after rook e3, it's easy to panic in that position or see some ghost or
What have you?
discard your calculation. Yeah, king g7 objectively I think is fine for black. I mean, I didn't see anything there.
What was your intention?
I mean, I hadn't decided. I was thinking about rook e7, but queen f6, I didn't see anything.
So you just felt the position was, so it was
I mean,
really
I think
the
black's
blunder.
just fine.
The blunder was simply Queen F4.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that the tactics work out for me here.
And this was, I know it's not a fair question for me to ask you, but why did he play on so long? I mean,
I've been in that boat before, and maybe he just was, yeah.
He's criticizing himself, you idiot.
Could be, yeah. Although Andrew is also a bit of a joker. He's done this against me. I think the first time we played, and
yeah,
I couldn't stop laughing. I remember he just kept on playing on and like giving on his pieces,
or
something like that.
I
Yeah.
see. Akshat, this was a big victory for you. We've got the championship rounds coming up. What's your ambitions as you look forward?
I don't really care about the first place in this tournament. I just want to win some games.
Win some games.
So today was not a must-win or anything. I just wanted to take advantage of the white pieces.
Exactly. Well, you sure did that. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck in the championship rounds as they're
Thank you,
coming
Yasser.
up. Very, very nice victory indeed. And I'm going to just look at the game between Brandon for a second. This was that Queen, Rook, and Knight versus Queen, Rook, and Bishop. And we felt that White had a little something, something, and he kind of does. Welcome back, Begim, as we just saw a very, well, I wanted to say glorious blunder. You know, sometimes you make a mistake.
Yeah.
and
Sometimes
think to
you make a
yourself,
blunder.
It's not that bad. And sometimes you make a mistake which induces your opponent to see the same blind
Yeah.
spot, and that your mistake turns out to provoke a blunder from your opponent. But what happened today with Andrew is he made a blunder and he could resign. It was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It lost the game on the spot. We just have this move, King F7. I find that move confounding. Do you understand that move, King F7? Because I thought the move Queen F4 had a purpose of threatening to play Rook C1. If I, like, let's say if it's my move and I play Rook C1 here, my whole idea is I want to play Rook C7. Excuse me, you play King F7, I'm like, dude, I want to play Rook C7, so you put your king on F7 so I can do it with
helping
check.
me, right?
You know, I mean, is this a tag team? We're working together to beat ourselves. Help me out. Why did he play King F7? Is that a move
I
you would
think
play?
he wants to protect the bishop, basically.
Fair.
And then put Rook D7.
So he wants to go here and maybe on a good day
Yeah.
Queen D6. Okay.
He decided he needs to consolidate his pieces, most probably. And then what was the way to consolidate, to protect bishop? You cannot really go bishop F7, right? And then bishop D7 looks ugly, basically.
Okay.
So he came up with king F7 idea, it seems, and then after Rook C1, most probably he's gonna play Queen D4.
Okay. So.
And if you play Rook C7,
Which is my whole dream, the dream
dream
scenario.
come true.
Yeah. Right.
And then
You know.
king goes back, or king
to-
F6, if I dare.
Oh boy, King F6 if you dare. Gee, well, you know me. I don't want to trade queens when I feel I have the attack. By the way, we're going to switch myself out or Begim. Begim, you're going out again. I mean, you get
know.
all the breaks.
That's great, Yasser.
Don't go far. Okay, and this game between Brandon, well, okay. What to say? I like White's position, but we have Raunak back in business here as, oh my, you've won a very, very important game indeed. Wow, and you did it with the black pieces as well.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I mean, people are going to talk. We have appointments exactly together at 5:20. Congratulations,
Thank
very
you.
nice victory. What happened?
Okay, pretty standard.
Right, Rui Lopez. By the way, your move order is a suggestion that you're willing to play Marshall Gambit.
Yeah.
Marshall is a part of your
Yeah.
repertoire. Okay. I know that Dr. John Nunn, a key rival when I was playing, he swore the Marshall Gambit
Yes,
was
I've studied some of his
the
games.
was the go-to defense. An anti-Marshall, this one featuring D3, and the game kind of, if you were to put this position in front of me, I would say, oh, you're playing a Breyer.
Yes, but I think
with
with
an
the
extra
tempo.
tempo because of D3 and D4.
Yes.
So you've improved on the standard Breyer
Right.
position. Tell me when things kind of went in your
Actually,
favor.
here I was very happy with my position after A5 because
After A5, yeah.
like my plan is pretty clear. I want Queen C7, Rook B8,
Which rook?
EB8,
Rook EB8,
and Bishop to A6,
bishop to A6,
and B4 Knight C5. It's much easier to play, I feel, for black. I don't know what the comp says, but I prefer black here.
Okay. And with the move A5, just as you've described it, you've gained space. And from white's point of view, well, it really comes down to pushing these
Yeah.
pawns. Whether I play F4 or G4, G5, I have to do something because, as you say, you're making
Yes.
inroads on the queen side. You're going to go Queen C7, Rook B8,
Exactly.
Bishop A6, B4, Knight C5, and you're basically saying to white, do your worst.
I think the big plus for black is that I have not committed H6 because now G4 will be not so fast. So he'll have to make me push H6, which happened eventually.
Okay. So you're, as far as you're concerned, you have your menu, you have your agenda, what you're supposed to do, and
H6
now
is a very
this is
concrete
where,
move, I think.
yeah, and so you're making an incredibly important. I think our audience should really understand this. White needs to open things up on the king side, so he wants to play G4, and you're reluctant to play H6 because you give your opponent a hook,
Yes.
right? But now you've done it. You did play H6.
The reason behind it was
Yes.
like if he goes Bishop E3,
Okay.
I want to go Knight C5. Concretely, because of this move Knight C5, I played H6 because I attacked the E4 pawn immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was why he went Bishop H4.
Absolutely.
Okay, H6, Bishop H4, King H7.
Preparing G6.
A kind of a, yes, you are preparing G6, but you're, I want to say you're also waving a flag. You're saying,
Yes.
come and get my king.
Yes.
So he said, what else? I mean, by the way, if he doesn't play this,
Yeah, he doesn't have a plan.
right, this is, he has to get on this track. This, for me, was a crucial moment. In the
Yes.
game, he chose the move Knight G3,
Mhm.
and I think you were happy to see that retreat.
Yeah, I was kind of calculating Knight H6, some
Correct.
G5, but I don't
Correct.
think anything worked. That's the
Tell
thing.
me.
Bishop
tell-
H6,
Yes.
G5. I wanted Knight H5.
Pardon me?
Knight
You-
H5
your intention was Knight
Yeah.
H5,
and F6. Yeah.
and just F6.
And now if I get my, let's say, Knight to C5, Queen to F7, F4 square is very weak, and I don't see any attack going for white.
Okay, so I don't like my knight, right?
Yeah.
So I have to throw in some patties as well, right?
should at least try Knight C5,
Knight G4,
Queen F7,
Rook E3. Small idea.
maybe G5.
Kind of. That was like this is kind of. I want to say the bell. You're just the dinner bell. You have to play this. I need my king. These I've seen so many games of Soviet championships where they've done this type of thing. In this position, I don't have the time to get it
Yeah.
all in. Complicated
But I
position.
think this would be his best shot at least.
Precisely. I mean, sometimes you ride the tiger and it
Okay, if you're
eats
worse.
you.
Yeah.
You know? But sometimes you feel, well, you don't really have a choice. I didn't like the move Knight G3, and I actually liked, we saw a position more or less where you had doubled. We saw this position and we liked it for you.
Yeah, Knight C7 comes and like that
Yes.
attack is very free flowing.
Exactly. And here you felt good. Yeah?
Yes.
Was there any draw offers in this game, by the way?
No.
No. Okay. Both of you are
Fighting
having
chess,
a, yeah,
always.
fighting chess. Both of you are having a very, very nice tournament. By the way, we didn't know. Was this a brotherhood pairing in the sense that you know each other very well, you've played each other before, or this was just actually a new opponent for you?
Actually, we haven't played much in classical chess, but we have played a lot of blitz games online.
Yes.
And that's it. But okay, I know how he plays, how he thinks, and
Right.
so does he.
Exactly. All right. Here I thought, well, you just have to my way of thinking, at least, an overwhelming position. I think you felt the same.
Yeah, the bishops are dominating.
Dominating. And at this point, well, rook takes f,
Queen g5,
a6.
Queen d2, my point was rook d2.
Yep.
Rook b2. Sorry.
Yep.
Knight b2, rook b2.
Yep.
And rook d1, queen f4, and it looks lost.
You're a whole rook down, but
the dark squares are fatal.
I mean, it just feels, I love, pardon me, rook takes a6. Sorry, he played f4,
Yeah.
and this is
Now equal material, he has all kind of weaknesses on the light squares, dark squares.
I just wanted to say it just feels like a dominating position for
Yeah.
you, and wow.
That was
won a
more of a
lovely-
desperation.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no choice.
you just won. Well, now,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well done. I mean, if there's a Hall of Fame for Breyer, the Breyer Hall of Fame, you walk in, this will be framed.
Hopefully.
Congratulations, very
Thank you.
nice. And 2 rounds to go. Your ambitions are soaring a little
Yeah,
bit. at
3
this point?
rounds, 2
Yeah,
whites.
3 rounds, sorry. 2 whites.
2 whites, so I want to strike as much as I can,
Yes,
and we'll see what happens.
lovely. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And a very nice victory. I tell you, those wins with black, they sure feel good, I must say. As we'll get a quick look at the Dariusz versus John Burke game. And I'm more than curious after it takes. He did play Begim. Look at this.
Yes.
Dariusz did go knight f5. He didn't go for the bishop takes b6. And after queen e8,
So
And
I'm
now he took
predicting,
the-
Yasser.
now he took on d6. And we have this current position. It feels, that trade of knights was huge. And it feels like John has weathered the storm. It's
Yeah.
still something, but it just feels like life is good. Let's just take a look at the standings,
Absolutely.
shall we? And
Let's start with Group A.
Indeed.
We still have 2 games remaining, but so far Nikolas Theodorou made a draw and has 4 points, while Benjamin Bok is still playing and he's tied for second with Raunak, who just won the game, and you guys had a great interview. And
Sure.
Pravin has also 3.5 points.
Nice. And let's just jump into that. And pardon me, let's take a look at Group B.
Absolutely.
As also 2 games remaining.
Akshat
yeah?
had a great run.
Yes, he
And
did.
then so far he's playing great, and then solo lead of the tournament he defeated his very important opponent, let's say Andrew Hong, and now Semyon Lomasov and Andrew Hong are tied for second, and we have a couple of games remaining. But for now,
Absolutely.
this is the standings.
Let's just take a look at that marquee matchup. And now when we left it ages ago. We left it with bishops of opposite color, and we thought Benjamin was doing really well. And guess what? Benjamin won a
He's
pawn,
doing
and he's doing really well. And they did get into an ending where Illia is hanging on for dear life. But boy, I got to tell you, Benjamin is really making what for me is inroads. I play the French defense, and I hated the winnower where white got the bishop on that diagonal. Somehow that diagonal, a3 to f8, just carves the French defense, and it cleaves it into 2, and the extra pawn, the extra pawn on c3 at the moment's not terribly meaningful, but it's just the activity of white's pieces that I
Absolutely.
find
And king comes
terrifying.
to g5.
Yeah.
It's like almost Nigel Short's run to h6.
Exactly, exactly. Now, it's funny that you should say about the Nigel Short runs to h6, because everybody knows this beautiful victory over Jan Timman.
Yes.
Do you know the game Nigel Short versus Alexander Belyavsky? No. So what happened in that game, everybody? So everybody knows Nigel going king h2 to g3 to h4 to g5 to h6 and
F4, G5.
yeah, and defeating Jan Timman in beautiful style. He, Nigel, also made a king run, beautiful, beautiful king run against Belyavsky, and walked into checkmate and won. And it was sort of
That's my problem. I don't know that Yasser.
everybody knows the game he won, but not the game he lost.
I was like, wait a second.
Checkmate
Is
and
something
won.
fascinating missing?
And it was actually pretty funny. It was from a Linares tournament where Nigel, and his
Was that
opponent made a move,
before he
and
played
Nigel
Jan
was
Timman?
kind of like writing it down, and he was kind of looking around like, where do I move my king? Checkmate and won. It was pretty hilarious. Sorry, what was the question?
Was the game before he defeated Jan Timman or after?
Good question. I'm not really too sure of
That
the
is
timeline.
very interesting
Yeah,
because he might be.
which came
yeah,
first, right?
Exactly.
I think it must have come afterwards because I think he was ambitious.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
point
He had to be ambitious. He's like, no way,
win
I'm
games.
repeating it again.
Exactly. King g5, I think Benjamin is winning at this point. Just too many active pieces. You've got g2, g4 as a pawn break.
Which
You've
is a
got
very strong pawn break and important because you put the rook b2, rook f2 and immediately.
Yeah, I think Illia is not saving this one.
It doesn't feel like it.
And
We
by
have
the-
many moves in though. Let's see.
Yeah, by the way, I mean, here comes an exchange sacrifice. That's
For
pawn
the
number
second,
2.
And then a7 pawn is
Ugh.
going to be lovely.
Lovely, lovely indeed. And, in boxing, we have a jab. The jab is a way of measuring your opponent and, trying to get a target. And in this case, it just really feels to me like Benjamin has been jabbing and just, finding the weaknesses in the position. And by the way,
Also, he's playing in seconds again, so he has to repeat move.
this move, bishop b8, that's a dream, right?
he's
So you
crushing.
in tune.
He's,
So-
black is not on time. What?
What? Yeah, we both had the same.
Wait.
What? What?
Are we missing something? Oh,
King is coming here, right?
exact. Oh my God.
Well, just a second. Hold on.
Illia
1,
is. You
2,
can see
3,
Illia is
4,
smiling.
6, 1, 2, 5, 7. Whoa, he may have. Is Illia really smiling?
Yeah, he was smiling. He's like, wait a sec, you forgot?
Oh, Benjamin
Is
has
not
been
happy.
having
Is not happy.
one of
at
those
all.
tournaments where, he's
So
turned
many misses.
winning positions into lost positions into wins, as we didn't witness it. Sasi lost, but holy smokes, he was completely winning. What on earth has he done?
And also, meanwhile, we have a result. Dariusz between John, they drew their game.
Let's go there and just take a quick gander at how that game
It
finished.
felt like it was very close, but
By the way, I really did like John's decision right here
Queen
to
E8.
play Queen E8.
It feels better than Queen F6.
It certainly
visually.
does. And yeah, and this is where the moment where we kind of thought, well,
And Dariusz decided to.
hose
made
the
it.
board.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he had also 2 minutes left. There's no point of playing, right?
Yeah. Okay, very
Nice.
good. That means that Benjamin Illia is left, and we think the game is now gone
We will
into a
continue.
draw. But let's just see 2 remaining games. Brandon, this game to me, I like white. I think that white's
Yes, sir.
still on
Brandon
the attack.
is listening to me. King of F6.
I was at King F6. I'm not sure. He should have taken your advices here.
Our generation needs to apologize for
Right,
this move.
old classics, classic hacks like myself. I think Black's taking some extraordinary risks here. The one problem I have is the knight. Give me the knight on f4. Give me the knight on e3. Give me the knight anywhere close to the king. So I desperately want to get in, you know, the knight in attack. The rook and the queen are coordinating. I just need that extra guy, you know, that extra. What do you do as Black here to prevent the threat? Do you go?
And also,
Yes, please.
the one who's taking my advice is actually Batsuren, because Brennan is playing white. I apologize. So, I was thinking of g5, to be honest.
Well, a lot of things happened, so let's.
Now you updated it.
Yeah, I updated the game. We were.
Oh.
What? Rook c1, g5. Oh, we were looking at our analysis. I apologize.
It
I
makes
apologize. This makes the biggest difference in the world. And by the way, Brandon, he clipped the pawn
It seems like he's winning the game too.
and should be winning the game. He's eyeballing. What's better than
Absolutely.
being one pawn up?
2.
Correct. He's eyeballing the opportunity to play knight c8 as
and
well.
Bishop d7 seems like the only move, but
Exactly.
against
As
Slovakia,
well as
so-
I would be absolutely eager, I want to say, to bring my king into play. King f1, king e2, king h2, king g3 would be wonderful, but I'm afraid Black might shut the door with f4. As we prepare to
Oh
go
my God!
on,
What a game!
we saw a knight on h7 and a knight on it was e6. There was going to be this royal fork. How
Crazy.
the heck did we get here? By the way, rook f1. That's a visually, aesthetically pleasing move. I want to play rook takes and give me that guy. And in place of f2, sorry, I want to play and king g2. Give me, and white saving
Oh my
the game.
God! Most probably it will end
A draw,
Yes.
most likely. But
not sure
as we get prepared to bid you fond adieu, we do want to say that the Summer of Chess isn't just about the chess classics. There's a lot of events coming
Absolutely.
your way, including Chess
9LX,
9LX.
which
That-
is from September 7th to 10th, and we have ultimate moves before we start rapid games, which is 20+5.
Okay.
And ultimate moves, everyone knows, it's so much fun.
Bobby Fischer chess, Fischer random. That's what it's all about. 960. So it became Fischer random, then it became chess 960, but now it's chess 9LX, the Roman numerals for 960. And again, with some of the best players in the world, and guess what? They're going to be doing trash talking for that
I love
ultimate
that one.
moves.
And then like live broadcast,
Right.
commentators being in the
Right.
playing hall, that's gonna be awesome.
Did you see that? I get in some jabs with Levon Aronian. I got in a good jab. I said Levon was a modest man with much to be modest about. He loved it. I'm sure you will too. Chess 9LX, Ultimate Moves coming up. Thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe to our social media channels. Tell your friends where you're hanging out, as Begim and I
Thank
will
you,
be
Yasser, for
here
today.
tomorrow at the same time,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, 4 p.m.
That's the one.
Central
That's the one too.
Central Time,
Not
guys.
European time, Central Time. And thank you so much for joining us. Our congratulations to the players and our thanks to the players for coming and being interviewed. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Any reproduction or distribution of this content without the express written consent of the St. Louis Chess Club is prohibited.